Hello and welcome back, I'm Sean, and today we're checking out a fantastic entry to a fantastic digital audio player, the iBasso DX180. So let's check it out. So starting with what I like about this player is the build quality, and this thing is honestly built like a tank. The entirety of this player is built with an aluminum alloy chassis that is solid and just overall screams quality. And another thing that I really like about this device is the screen resolution here, and if you thought the iBasso R4 we've checked out previously with a HD 720p screen is sharp, then the DX180 here will be even better because it runs a 5-inch Full HD 1920 by 1080p screen that is super gorgeous. So I honestly also like all the hardware bits and bobs here that the DAP has, and you also get, like some screw plates here and there. So overall, this thing is really beautifully designed, very high quality. And another thing that I like about this is that the micro SD card slot is actually at the top and it's not covered by the silicone case. So unlike the iBasso R4 where you put a case on it, it's hard to access the card, so this one is good. And with this, I also like that it comes with a great Qualcomm Snapdragon 665 SoC chipset, supporting Bluetooth 5.0, and comes with two great high-res codecs, LDAC and aptX HD, and also supports AAC and SBC. So this is also powered by a quad DAC chipset. So you also get 4 pieces of the CS43131 chipset to drive your audio. So another thing that I like also is the battery life on this device, and it's rated to play upwards of 15.5 hours on a single charge. And the Type-C charging port that you get here is also PD 3.0 or QC 3.0 quick charging supported, so you can fully charge this device in only 84 minutes. And finally, this player sounds fantastic, and it should, because you can actually use the player as a DAC for your other devices, laptops that don't have good audio to begin with, so this is good. Honestly, there isn't a lot to dislike about this device, and first of all, this DAP is so precisely designed and the materials are great, but I think the edges here are a little bit sharp, so if you were to run your hands through it, it's actually really sharp, which might scratch you if you don't use a case. Although the player is really smooth and using it is no problem, it's super smooth, I realized that at times the corner of the screen can be a little bit sluggish to tap on. Perhaps it's my dry fingers, but I noticed that when I was typing some password, I kept getting it wrong. And although you get a nice chipset, it still only supports Bluetooth 5.0, which in the age of newer earbuds and peripherals supporting up to Bluetooth 5.4, this seems to be a little outdated in 2024. So price-wise, it's still coming in at an entry to mid-range DAP player price, and almost twice the price of the iBasso R4, coming in at $529 US, or about 2,299 Malaysian ringgit. So if you find value in what you hear so far and like what you see, do subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so the YouTube algorithm can pick it up. And if you want to buy this DAP, do check out my links below. So let's talk about the sound quality and the power you get with this DAP. So from a power standpoint, I have no issue with running this with any of my headphones, and even with my One Audio Monitor 80, which is a 250 ohm power rating headphone. And I think it does produce a very decently powerful sound signature for the higher power headphones, but if you run something at the 32 ohm or more basic power ratings, this DAP produces good power to drive those headphones very loudly. So this is the same as well for Bluetooth earbuds and headphones, and I have good volume overall in driving those Bluetooth devices with good volume as well. So sound quality perspective, what I experienced so far with this DAP, or even if you use it as a DAC, it produces a good crisp tone that is not flat in my opinion, where flat usually isn't a bad thing in the high-res world. So what I got with this player is actually very dynamic sound signature, not in the typical V-shaped sense, but a very good dynamic experience. You get a good clean bass performance that isn't insanely deep, but good sub-bass that is clean and high resolution. This also depends highly on the headphones or earbuds that you use, but with good pairing, you can actually hear quality of the bass notes and how well they are generated. So I do notice a very tiny recess with the mid vocals here. It doesn't feel like it pops out as much, but it's also easily remedied with some EQ tuning. Highs can be generated with great clarity and resolution, and if you have good high-res files, you get absolutely good highs here. And the good news about this player is that it generates complex vocals and highs in the music, and I can even hear clarity in very subtle, deep cello sounds at the far back end of the track, so very impressive. So this player here is beautifully designed and has a very industrial look to it, very Cybertruck if you ask me, with a sharp edges and straight lines everywhere. And at the front here, you're gonna get this gorgeous 5-inch display with the 1920 by 1080p Full HD display that is so sharp and beautiful to look at. And the chassis of this DAP is all aluminum alloy at the side here. And at the back, you're gonna see a nice slate grey color on my black unit with the DX180 model, and 2 screws holding a brushed metal plate at the top. Super cool, and this is not a fingerprint magnet, so you do get some smudges, but it's so difficult to detect. That's very good. So there are a few buttons and ports here, and we'll look at it in the next section, but overall this device isn't heavy, coming in at only 206 grams as compared to the heavier HiBe R4 at 231 grams. So in the box itself, iBasso also gives you a silicone case, so you don't need to buy one separately, and also 4 screen protectors for you to protect your device from day one itself. Only thing that they didn't provide is the alcohol screen wipes and the application kit for the screen protector. So the ports here is clean and simple to use, very nicely laid out, and at the top of the DAP, you're going to get a Type-C charging port to charge the device up, and this is also PD 3.0 Type-C port, so it supports quick charging. And next to that is also a micro SD card slot that supports cards up to 2 terabytes. So on the left hand side of the device, there's no buttons at all, very clean, and on the right side is where you're going to get a large knob to wake your screen or put it to sleep, and also control the volume. And below that is also 3 buttons for play and pause and track skipping. At the bottom, you're going to get 2 jacks here, one 3.5mm single-ended unbalanced port, supporting a power of 281 milliwatts at 32 ohms, and also a 4.4mm balanced port, giving you more power at 690 milliwatts at 32 ohms. And that's basically all the ports you get with this DAP. So you do get some audiophile features here, but they aren't as comprehensive as the PEQ feature found in the HiBe R4. And here you're going to get controls for your gapless playback, a simple digital high and low gain, as well as 2 modes to control your EQs, one via a simple graphical 8-band EQ user interface, and another one via a more detailed parametric equalizer. So here you also get your left and right balance to control the sound, as well as 5 digital filters, namely D1 to D5 to control and experiment with. And from the notification center here, you can also see that you get some of the controls for your audiophile settings at the top here itself, so it's easy for you to access them. So for what it's worth, I think this is a fantastic price point into the audiophile DAP world, and if you want something to play your high-res audio files without forking out 8 to 10 times the amount of the DX180 is worth, but still wants great specs and audio quality, then I think this unit is definitely worth checking out. So if you want to check out another great DAP player at half the price of the DX180, I think the HiBe R4 that I've spoken a few times in this video is definitely something you need to check out. So I'll see you over at that video.